Alright guys, coming at you with a quick Deep Rock Galactic guide about crafting materials. So, in Deep Rock Galactic, there's materials that you need to upgrade your gear, and these are going to be called the crafting materials. And you need them pretty frequently, as there's about 4 different classes, and between those 4 classes, there's a lot of upgrades to get, especially since they introduced the new weapons. So you have to get upgrades on your first weapon as well as your second weapon. For your pistol, your primary as well as your secondary. And so you end up going through quite a bit of the crafting materials. And so you can also, they're also kind of necessary when you come over to the accessory shop. Right here, for this beard color, which actually looks pretty good. I might have to switch to that. It's going to cost 30 Enor Pearls. And I'm going to buy it because, look at that. That looks pretty slick. And, yeah, you're going to need crafting materials for pretty much everything in the game. Like, if you're not about pimping out your... Oh my god, this mustache. Why haven't I been in here before? But yeah, if you're not about pimping out your dwarf, you're kind of playing the game wrong, if you ask me. So these crafting materials, there's 6 main types. There's Magnite, Bismor, Umanite, Croppa, Enor Pearls, Jadiz. I'm sure I'm butchering those pronunciations. I have no idea how to say them properly, but that's the main 6. And then over here we have a 7th, and it's the error cube. I don't know. I'm pretty sure there's no use for it in the game currently, but I believe the devs are planning to add a use for it, and they're pretty rare to get. I've only gotten 3, and so once they do come out with something to do with them, I'm sure it's gonna be an epic reward, because why make them this rare if you're gonna need like 100 of them for whatever they come out with. So back to the crafting materials. So there's 2 main ways to get these crafting materials, at least the main 6. The error cube can only be gotten in missions, but the main 6 you can also purchase at the mineral trade center here. And so they go for a pretty penny. It's about 150 per resource, which adds up pretty quickly, as you can see. Some of the upgrades I had in there were 130, and that's already 19,500 credits, and that's just one of the resources required for that. And then you also need credits for the upgrade, so you don't want to spend all your money here. And I think that's kind of why they lock it out. If you don't have access to the mineral trade center, by the way, you just come over to the assignment board, and in the assignment board you'll find an assignment here somewhere, and it's gonna say something along the lines of trade center access or something like that. And once you complete that assignment, you gotta go over to your mission terminal. It's gonna have missions kind of like this, and it's gonna be glowing just like this one is. And you go to that mission, you do that mission, and then you will gain access to the mineral trade center. I think they do it to lock out content for newer players, so they're not just spending their credits on the mineral trade center rather than maybe upgrading their character or trying to look better. But yeah, once you so other than the mineral trade center, you also can get these crafting resources through missions. Now a lot of people will say, don't worry about the mineral trade center, it's pretty much never useful. It's always better to get the minerals from your missions. But I disagree to an extent. Like, there's some moments in time where it's just impossible to get the crafting materials you need. Like, for example, if I come over here right now, say I need Jadiz, and I need a few, maybe like 4 or 5 Jadiz for a 20% upgrade on damage to my weapon. I come over here, and as you can see, none of these missions have Jadiz. Now this one does, but you can't do any missions here because it's the scanners are out of range, and this one also does, but again, scanners out of range. And so at this point, it's probably a good idea, like if you just need a few of the Jadiz, to just go buy some Jadiz. But that brings me to the having minerals in your missions. As you can see on the left there, it will say abundant or scarce of whichever minerals you're looking for. And so here it's abundant in Magnite and it's scarce in Umanite. Now that doesn't mean that the other minerals, they aren't on this mission at all. You will only find Magnite and Umanite. And so you'll find a lot more Magnite than Umanite, but usually you're running like maybe 30. Sometimes I get, higher, but I don't think I've ever gotten like more than 100 of a resource per mission. And so depending on, what the missions are being, what the minerals are being used for, it'll be kind of hard to get everything you need just from missions if you're not playing, as much as other people are playing. So next I'm gonna show you guys what the minerals look like once you're in the missions, as well as how to actually obtain them. Most of them you just get by mining. Actually, I'm pretty sure all of them you get by mining, but some of them aren't just sitting out like how you would see Morkite or gold sitting out. Some of them you have to like dig into a hole and they're like big crystals. And so I'll show you all those and we'll keep it moving. Alright, so first we're going to start off with Jadiz. Jadiz has these green crystals showing you where it's going to be located. This is going to be one of the minerals where you have to dig into the wall to pick it up. You can find it on a couple different planets. I'll show that right now. And for all my solo players, Bosco will also mine these rocks up for you. Next, we're going to be looking at Magnite. Magnite is a kind of dark brown rock, and it has black spots on it. As well, Bosco mines these up, and they're pretty abundant on a couple different regions, and I'll show you that in a sec. Next, we're going to be looking at Bismor. Bismor's this funky looking rock. It's actually pretty cool looking. It has these orange spikes on it, and it's almost like a neon yellow. It's actually a pretty cool rock. No need to mine into a wall or anything. It just kind of sits out there for you. Next, we're going to be checking out Umanite. Umanite's this green spiky rock that shoots out of the ground. Sometimes you'll find it next to rocks that emit radiation, and it's pretty abundant. You can usually get a decent amount of Umanite from your missions. Next, we'll be taking a look at Croppa. Croppa is a very unique looking rock. It's a kind of green rock with these purple spikes on it. Probably the easiest one to just see when you're walking into mission. You should almost never pass up on Croppa. Like I said, it's very unique looking and it'll almost always stand out like a sore thumb. And lastly, to top it off, we have Enor Pearls. Enor Pearls, a lot like Jadiz, require you to dig into a wall or a region to collect them. Enor Pearls are represented by these big black spheres all over the ground, and once you dig into it, a pearl will drop out for you. Alright guys, so that was my guide on how to get all the different crafting materials in Deep Rock Galactic. If you have any questions, feel free to leave any comments. I should have provided timestamps on, if you just want to skip around the different crafting materials. And if you have any suggestions on what I should do a guide on next, let me know. Hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Please feel free to like and subscribe. I'm putting out a lot of content. Gonna continue to put out a lot of content, so have a good one.
Get in my